Guys, welcome to Namaste Warrior Yoga, meditation and Pranayama training and explanation of how to do the postures and the techniques. With me is my friend Karina Radova. Now, before we could start meditating, before we can learn how to sit and do our breathing exercises, we need to learn how to sit easily so we can focus deep within on our practice. So we are sitting, Karina is sitting on 2 blankets, and I'm sitting on a Yogic bolster. You at home should have some form of elevated seat, which means that your hips will be elevated above your knees and your feet, so then the blood can trickle down your legs into your feet while you sit, because we are going to be sitting for extended periods of time. You can also grab Yogic blocks and sit on a yoga block, although this might be, even though this is foam, it might not be as comfortable. There are a variety of Yogic seats. Right now, Karina is sitting in Siddhasana Adept's pose. But there are a variety of seats you can choose for your particular practice. The easiest of them all is called Sukhasana, easy seat, with your legs crossed. So give it a try. Try the easy seat. Cross your legs. It doesn't matter which shin bone is in front, right or left. Try to switch every single day. Monday, let's say right shin bone in front. Tuesday, left shin bone in front. Today, let's just say the right foot is in front. Flex your feet and try to bring your feet underneath your knees, if that's possible. Good. Extend your spine. Sit up tall. Make sure you're not leaning forwards or backwards or side to side, but you're directly centered and balanced on both of your sit bones. So bring your attention to your sit bones, equalize the balance, and extend your spine upwards vertically from the central axis of the spine. Gaya Mudra, hand position, index finger and thumbs touch, which is a symbol of wholesomeness and completeness. Once you bring your fingers together, it's a symbol of you being complete, whole, and ready to practice. You are dedicated to the practice of yoga. So once we join the fingers, we establish the true connections within, and we are ready to go. Gaya Mudra, palms up on top of the knees. You're sitting tall, sternum is lifted, not compressed or scrunching. Back of the neck is long and graceful. This is called Sukhasana easy seat. This is the quintessential yoga posture, and each and every yoga class you will go to will start off in this pose most likely. Once you learn how to sit in Sukhasana easy seat, you might want to start making the postures more binding, in a sense more constricting, so that way you can't get out of your seat and you are then relieve your restlessness and able to sit longer without moving, which is the point of becoming quiet in the mind and in the body. To make the body stop moving, we need to bind it. We need to ground it. One way is from the mind to the body, sending signals, making yourself sit through discipline. Another way is to physically bind yourself. To do that, here comes the second variation of a sitting pose called Siddhasana, or Adept's pose. In Siddhasana, you bring one of the heels, let's say the left heel, underneath the groin, top of the foot facing down. Bring the right foot in and stack the right heel on top of the left and wedge your foot inside the hamstring and the calf. Release the knee down to the floor. If your knee is up, you can place a block underneath. That's fine. Just make sure you're balanced on your sit bones so you're not keeled to one side. See if you can release the knees down. Again, Gaya Mudra, and you're sitting up tall, sternum lifted. Make sure there's no tension in your body. Tall spine, royal seat. This is called Siddhasana Adept's pose. The next very day that you're practicing in Siddhasana, simply switch the crossing of the legs and wedge the other foot in. Cool? All right, we are moving on. So, we've covered Sukhasana, Siddhasana. The other pose you might want to consider is half lotus, and then from there, full lotus. To start with half lotus, extend your feet out in front. Bend the right knee. Let's say that we're starting on Monday with the right leg. We lift the foot up, and we pull the heel of the right foot into the belly button. We place the blade of the outer foot on the crease of the hip. Heel pulls into the belly, blade into the crease of the heel, and then we release the knee towards the floor. In order to create some space in the knee joint, if you feel some tightness, you can roll the calf out and the outer thigh. If the knee is close to the floor, release it down. Don't push too hard. Be kind to your knees. Practice ahimsa, which means non-violence. Non-violence to others and non-violence to yourself. Turn the left thigh out and see if you can pull in the shin bone and underneath the right thigh. Now your top leg, the right leg, is in posture called half lotus. Notice how binding the foot is. It's very difficult to move it out, right? Like handcuffs are binding, they keep you in place. So do binding leg postures keep you from moving. And when you can't move, your mind settles down quicker, and it's easier for you to sit still and practice meditation or mindfulness techniques, concentration, or pranayama breathing techniques. Of course, you can always extend the left shin bone out and then try full lotus by lifting the ankle and sliding it up the thigh, trying to pull the heel again towards the belly button. So the heels are close together. Top of the foot on top of the thigh. This posture is called full lotus pose. For most people, full lotus will be inaccessible because of closed hips. Keep practicing my yoga, strength and conditioning DVDs and the yin yoga practice, and in time, with persistence and consistency of practice, you will be able to open up your hips and sit in lotus pose. But it doesn't matter which seat you take. What matters is obviously your commitment to what you're doing, your ability to stay on point, one-pointed concentration. So the key is finding the seat that works for you, once in a while switching the seat and seeing if you can up your level of binding, maybe coming into a full lotus. And if you notice in here, there's nowhere to move. I am fully bound, I am restricted in my movements, and this makes me feel like I have arrived. I have arrived and I'm ready to practice. Full lotus, half lotus, Siddhasana, or Sukhasana, the sitting postures in yoga. There is one more posture which is practiced by warriors such as the samurai, and it's called the hero's pose. I too like this posture because it stretches the ankles, and it's a very humbling and relaxing posture. To do this pose, let's come off our props and grab our block. And Karina will sit sideways, I will sit forward. Place the block in between your heels and sit down. The block will be horizontal. Both sit bones will press down like you're hatching an egg, and squeeze the block in between. Index fingers and thumbs touch, palms up. Humble hero pose. This is our final yoga sitting posture that you want to learn and employ for your yoga classes. So whichever you go, wherever you go, these are the postures that you will most likely encounter in your yoga classes. Learn them, try them once in a while, and keep upping your skill and challenge levels by trying them at different times. If you're always taking Sukhasana, maybe try Adam's Pose, Siddhasana. If you get comfortable in Siddhasana and your hips open up, try Half Lotus. Once you learn Half Lotus, try Full Lotus. You get tired of those postures and you feel very comfortable, stoic and poised, sitting in Hero's Pose, assume Hero's Pose and start your practice in this manner. Cool. That concludes our sitting postures in Namaste Warrior Yoga. Let us now move on to mindfulness meditation practice. Let's come back to our props. Let's sit on our blankets, elevating our hips. Assume whichever sitting posture you like. So now that you've learned the sitting postures, take whichever one that you feel works best for you, considering your body. My favorite pose is not the lotus pose. Even though I can do it rather easily, my favorite meditation posture is Siddhasana Adept's Pose. And once you become a yoga adept, you want to start employing these different postures for your benefit. Let us now learn mindfulness meditation. No matter which kind of yoga you do, what's important to learn first is concentration. The ability to stay on point, following one object, being able to pierce that object as if it was a bullet piercing it, as if it was a magnet that was magnetizing and pulling towards it, being able to stay with it, to be consistent without distractions. And in a busy modern world, we certainly need to learn skills that would help us stay on target, accomplish our goals, and succeed in life through the ability to focus, to concentrate. So before we can get into deep meditation and visualizations and imagination techniques, the basics which we learn here in Namaste Warrior Yoga are about being able to succeed in any yoga class and also succeed in life. And that's the philosophy and principle of my personal method. So let's start with our concentration and becoming mindful. Sit tall in whichever seat you have chosen. Close your eyes and become conscious of your breath. Please set an intention within that now that you have allotted this time to being concentrated, to being like a bullet piercing a target, that you are following along and you're no longer allowing any other thoughts to permeate your mind. Conscious intention on watching the breath dutifully with joyful commitment. It's important to practice yoga with a sense of enthusiasm and joy for your practice. Imagine that when you're inhaling, you're taking in the cosmic energy of the universe. When we are born, we take in our first breath. When we die, we take our last breath. Everything in between is this breath, this prana, this vital force, this energy. We are channeling that vital force, whether you concentrate on your breath during the day or not. In yoga, this is the basis and the foundation of our practice. Mindful breathing. So right now, your job as a yogi adept is to watch your breath as if you are a bullet piercing a target, as if you are a magnet pulling your mind towards the breath. Notice the quality of your breathing. What we're performing now is called mindfulness meditation. This is the most basic of yogic and Buddhist practices. This is the opposite of practicing mindlessly. You are mindful. You care about your breath. You pay attention to it purposefully, in the present moment. You're not judging what you're doing, but you are watching what you're doing as if your life depended on it. It's best to practice with that type of inner intensity, that type of inner integrity, full commitment, wholehearted. Nothing else exists but you, consciousness of yourself, and the awareness of the breath. Right now, you do not need to manipulate your breath. We are simply becoming conscious of this vital force within. Know when you're inhaling joy. The inhale is about pleasure and aliveness. The exhale is about release. It lets go of your restlessness. It lets go of the tension. So this is the yogic prescription for best health. Watch the breath. Know that when you're inhaling, it's pleasurable. It brings in the prana. It brings in the energy. Know that when you're exhaling, you're releasing your restlessness and tension. Bind yourself to the practice. The idea here is to be mindful consistently, having a thread of continuity, an unbroken chain for a certain duration of time. Today we will practice mindfulness meditation, watching the breath for 5 minutes. As you become better at continuously observing the thread of your breath, maybe move on to 10 minutes. And then by 5-minute intervals, increase to 15, 20, 25. Right now, in my personal practice, I'm at 30 minutes. Every morning I wake up, and after I take my cold shower and drink my lemon water, the next thing I do is I sit down for a 30-minute mindfulness meditation. And what it does for me is it sets my mind, it clears the mind, it clears the palette of my mind for the rest of the day. I feel energized, I feel relaxed, I feel non-reactive, I feel like I can be calm and in a state of full equilibrium, in control of my emotions. I can see my thoughts, I can see my words, I can see my actions as I'm doing them without reactivity, without frustration, with less anxiety, without less anger and fear. And this is what the benefits of this wonderful practice are. So start with 5 minutes and then increase by 5-minute intervals until you can do 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and keep going. Find out the time that works for you best in your schedule. Right now, let me set the timer for 5 minutes. And let us begin. Your job is to watch the breath, learning the skill of concentration. Your mind is one-pointed. It pierces the breath. Be conscious of your body as you're watching the breath. Perfectly normal to be in touch with your physical self as you're observing your spiritual self. The breath inside is also physical. So why not watch your body, watch your posture as you're performing the mindfulness practice. Again, check in with your spine. Tall royal seat as if you were a king or a queen. Dignified seat. Once you start to collapse, you start to feel achy and you can no longer focus on the breathing. Your body steals the focus away. The pain steals the focus. So in order not to feel the pain, not to get into that place, be conscious of your seat, your spine, and your breath simultaneously. We're expanding the consciousness from within. Conscious of the body, conscious of the breath in the body, and the energy of the inhale and the exhale. So, what does that mean to be conscious of your body? I'm scanning my body head to toe, even as I'm watching my breath. So my horizons of my inner vision are expanded to observing the tension in my body and watching the breath. If I notice the tension developing in my inner thighs, in my hips, I might change my seat. I might go into an easier posture such as Sukhasana, which is intelligence. Intelligent practice means knowing what your body needs moment by moment, being mindful. One of my favorite meditators and Buddhist monks, Thich Nhat Hanh, really was best at describing the easiest ways to follow your breath, to be mindful. Thich Nhat Hanh said, when you're breathing in, know that you're breathing in. When you're breathing out, know that you're breathing out. Follow the breath. The timer signals the end of our mindfulness meditation. You may open your eyes. Notice if you feel different. And remember how it feels to be without tension, to be calm, without nervousness or anxiety, without fear or anger, but feeling a sense of inner peace. Take that with you throughout the day. The next exercise that we were going to learn is a form of breathing. In yoga, breathing is pranayama. Prana means vital energy or breath. Yama means control. So either energy control or breath control. That's what pranayama is. So we will learn a form of energy control. Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath means victorious breathing. if you are to perform this breath continuously without your mind disrupting the breathing process, the manipulation of the breath, then you too will be victorious and get all of the benefits of being calm, energized, and relaxed. Ujjayi breath also happens to be a form of breathing practiced in many varieties of yoga gymnastics classes in order to keep the body in a state of equilibrium from overheating and from cooling down. It's a form of heating breath and equalizing breath. How do you perform Ujjayi breath? You constrict your throat as if you're fogging glass. So maybe bring your right hand up and try to inhale through your mouth as if you're fogging glass. And then exhale. Do you hear that sound in the back of the throat? The HA sound. Well, that's the sound of the Ujjayi. And you can perform that sound with your mouth closed. So constrict your throat, close your mouth, and inhale through your nose. Notice that you're producing that ha sound again in the back of the throat. Hold the breath in at the top, and then transition slowly into your exhale with your throat closed. Not closed, simply constricted. Inhaling with your throat constricted, Ujjayi. And exhale. Throat slightly constricted, breathing through the nostrils. Inhale to inflate your lungs completely and your rib cage. And allow on the exhale your rib cage to compress and push the air out. Inhaling to inflate. Exhaling to release. Good, let's take a little mini break. In mindfulness meditation, we were simply observing the breath. We were not manipulating the breath at all. In Ujjayi breathing, victorious breath, we are in fact now manipulating the breath. When you're breathing regular throughout the day, most likely you're not even paying attention. You don't even care how you breathe. In our Pranayama breath control practice, we care greatly. This is the focal point of this practice. Paying attention to the breath and manipulating it for effect to become victorious. So, Ujjayi breathing, inhaling through the throat. Sometimes people call this Darth Vader breath because it sounds like Darth Vader breathing, or some people call it oceanic breath because it sounds like the ocean waves crashing into the shore, and then on the exhale it sounds like the ocean waves leaving back into the ocean. The breath is smooth, long, and deep. Let's try it again. Inhale, back of the throat constricted. And then transition, exhale. There's absolutely no need to rush the breath. In fact, your breath is slow and deliberate. When you're empty, you inhale. And when you're full, you exhale. Listen to the sound created in the back of the throat. Connect to it. When you're connected to the sound of the Ujjayi breathing, you in fact then know, like Thich Nhat Hanh said, that you're being mindful, that you're paying attention to the process of becoming energized, alive, and balanced. So pay attention. Know that you're breathing by creating the sound and then listening to the sound. Furthermore, this sound is a lot like a good lullaby. The ocean is so relaxing. So if you can create the oceanic sound and listen for that sound through your ear canals, your ear, the listening sense, you'll be able to quiet your mind and make yourself feel peaceful, just as if you were sitting next to the ocean. So this is quite relaxing, it's quite uplifting, and it quells the mind and quiets the body. Ujjayi breath. As you're practicing, make sure your belly is relaxed. Make sure when you inhale, your diaphragm, your intercostal muscles, your rib cage expands fully and completely. Once you feel full, you transition slowly into the exhale. And when you feel completely empty, that is when you transition into an inhale. Right? Let the breath be born. So when you inhale, the breath is born out of the exhale. And when you have completed the exhale, the inhale is born out of the exhale. One-pointed concentration on the breath, dispelling all other thoughts. Imagine these are tools that can help you become more peaceful, relaxed, energized, and to help you combat stress, anxiety, fear, and anger. Nothing could be better than having those tools in your toolbox. Nothing makes me feel safer and more complete for having these techniques that empower my life and give me the ability to practice virtually anywhere. You can perform Ujjayi breath standing next to a pole, on the metro system, on the subway. You can do this while sitting in class. This does not close your consciousness off. You can still be conscious of your environment, outside of yourself, and still be conscious of your breath simultaneously. Just expand the horizons of your consciousness to include yourself, the breath, and the rest of the environment. And now you are completely present, you are awake, and you feel good, you feel relaxed. So this has been the presentation of Ujjayi breathing. The next form of breath is more advanced. The next form of breath is called Bhastrika breath. Bhastrika breath means bellows. Bellows is an instrument that stokes the fires. It's a pump. And this is how you stoke the fire and ignite the fire in your fireplace. Imagine your lungs become the bellows instrument, right? So you need to summon the spirit of this instrument and become it. Your lungs now become the instrument of the pump. How do you perform Bhastrika breath? Inhale deeply into your lungs. Remember that the lungs are the only organ in your body that can absorb oxygen. So Bhastrika breath allows you to absorb higher volume of air, which then allows you to absorb the oxygen into your bloodstream, feeding your body with fresh new nutrients. It is invigorating, it feels stimulating, like as if you drank a cup of coffee, right? It gets rid of many diseases of the heart. Depression elevates your mood. How do you perform Bhastrika breath? Inhale deeply through the nose into your lungs, and then forceful and sharp exhale. It looks something like this. On the exhale, try not to collapse. Keep your spine extended through the back of the skull. Graceful seat. Inhale, inflate the lungs as if they were balloons. Exhale, push the air all the way out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You'll notice your body heat up, right? This is a heating breath. You're working your lungs as if they were a muscle, right? So let's work it out. Treat it like a muscle. Pump it up. One more. And relax. There's some things I'd like you to know before we continue, right? Some words of caution. When performing Bhastrika breath, since it's quite hyperventilating, you're taking in tremendous amount of air, you're pushing it out very quickly. If you become frustrated, if you become irritable, if you become anxious, if you start to feel tension in your neck, in the back of your spine, use your common sense, use your inner intelligence, let go, stop. Just return to your regular breath, and when you can, turn back one down, level down to Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling and exhaling, listening to the sound of the ocean. If you cannot perform Bhastrika breath, don't worry about it. Okay? Bhastrika breath is a cleansing exercise. They're purification exercises. They purify your lungs, they get rid of the toxins, and they bring in a tremendous amount of oxygen. But you can also do that by regulating your breath in Ujjayi. Okay? So don't stress over the inability to perform deep breathing at the start. It took me many months of consistent practice to learn this breath. Start with maybe a cycle of 30 exhalations and build up your proficiency. Right now, we will try to perform Bhastrika breath for 1 minute in a row. Karina will be doing it at a slow speed. Inhale, exhale, 1 breath out per second. I will be doing a more vigorous variation of Bhastrika. Right? So you can go at a slow pace, medium pace, or fast pace. Once you build up your proficiency, see if you can go faster. You will feel your mood elevate higher. You'll feel more blissful and more alive. Setting the timer for 2 minutes. Take a deep breath in and let's begin. If you feel like you're burning out, slow down, right? If you feel if the breath is empowering, hold steady or speed up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Longer inhale, sharp exhale. Develop a pace you can maintain. Deep inhale, sharp exhale, consistency. Notice how taxing this exercise is on your heart, on your brain, on your lungs. You're working out the major organs of your body. You're stimulating yourself from within, purifying yourself. What a wonderful feeling to be able to cleanse out the toxins from your body through this purification process. Exhale and stay empty. Natural breath. Keep your collarbones spread open. Keep your seat tall, even if you have to move your legs. Change your seat often if you must. Not a big deal at all. Until you learn how to sit still more comfortably and you're able to bind for longer periods of time. Notice the after effects. Always stay for the after effect. The last cycle of Bhastrika breath will be for 3 minutes. If you're unable to perform all of 3 minutes, you get caught up, hung up, you lose your concentration, you lose your focus, your body doesn't feel right, Ujjayi breath, or just watch the breath and relax. Even concentration is meditative and therefore helps you to feel more healthy and relaxed. So therefore, do your best and leave out the rest. Ready? Good. Let's begin. Like a pump. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Feel the heat. Generate powerful force from within. Prana, vital force. Yama, control. Breath control. The ability to pump yourself up. So if you feel deflated, right? If you feel kind of lethargic, you feel frigid, you feel your energy waning through the day, you feel deflated like a tire in your car, and you're riding around with these deflated tires, pump those tires up. Pump the tire up as if it was the breath, right? So treat your lungs as if they were a deflated tire, and then inflate the tire. If you have ever ridden in a car with a deflated tire, you know exactly what I mean. What it's like to feel deflated. What it's like to be grounded and unsteady. And that's the feeling when you feel lethargic, when you feel without energy, when you feel powerless. This practice is all about establishing inner power, inner controls, self-discipline. Self-discipline for what? Self-discipline for better life, for more energy, for more free will. So actually, by disciplining yourself and constraining yourself to a particular practice, you're opening yourself up to the ability to be free in a certain manner. Be able to pump yourself up, inflate your tires, and ride anywhere you wish. That's what you can do when you learn how to pump up and inflate. Exhale and be completely empty. Pull in your belly. Empty out. Stay empty. Keep the traps soft, shoulders soft. But stay empty as long as you can. When you feel the urge to breathe in, take the deepest breath in possible, inflating your lungs as if they were the largest balloon. And then they take 3 more little breaths in without letting go. Hold the breath in. Float your rib cage, float your skull above the shoulders. Whenever you feel the urge to exhale, relax. Exhale and breathe out through your nose. No tension in your neck or the body. Reposition your seat if you have to. Relax. When you're practicing deep forms of breathing that pump you up, you start to feel more buoyant. You feel more bounce. You feel more alive. You can rebound quicker from setbacks and fallbacks. You fall, you bounce right back up. When you're deflated, when you don't have the energy, it seems like it takes forever to bring yourself back together. So these are empowering techniques for your life, for your energy levels. That concludes our presentation of Bhastrika breath. The next breath I'd like for you to learn is Kapalabhati breath. Kapalabhati breath means skull shining breath. Just think about that. Skull shining. So it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you happy and alive. It's also a form of purification. You can release up to 70% of your body's toxins, the lungs toxins, by exhaling them forcefully from your lungs. That's what Kapalabhati is good for. It's a purification exercise. You take in a ton of oxygen in the process involuntarily, and you feel uplifted. You feel floaty. You feel good. How is Kapalabhati breath performed? First, of course, we sit up tall. We relax the belly. You may even bring your right hand to the belly so you can feel the exhalations. What separates this breath from other forms of breathing is the exhalations are forceful and fast, and we contract the belly on the exhale. There's a sharp contraction. So therefore, I bring my hand to the belly, allow the belly out, and I voluntarily and powerfully, as I exhale, I simultaneously contract the belly in, like this. The exhale is voluntary and quite powerful. The inhale is involuntary and relaxed. You just let go. Then you push it in, relax. Push in, relax. Push in, relax. Push in, relax. It feels like you're punching the air out of your lungs and through the nose. As a beginner practitioner, you want to keep your hand on the belly so you can feel the contraction. Belly button pulling towards the spine. Once you get comfortable with the process of simultaneously compressing the belly in and punching the breath out, you can go back to Gaya Mudra and you can start performing Kapalabhati this way. All of the exhalation is detoxifying and purifying. The other 30% of your toxin you can get rid of through urination and excretion and sweating. But 70% through expulsion of the air through your nostrils. Even though we don't recognize it or we don't see it, all of the exhaust, all of the gases walking through the streets in our metropolises, all of the air that we breathe has some kind of pollutants. So you're breathing in these pollutants, you're breathing in all these gases and exhaust. You have the power to breathe it out. You have the power to cleanse yourself and therefore keep your lungs, heart, brain, and organs functioning healthy, strengthening your immune system, nervous system, cardiovascular system. That's what these exercises all work to do in their subtle ways. Kapalabhati breath is a powerful exercise, and therefore you are advised to either go slow, and then once you learn to go slow, start to increase your pace so you can then build up into that sensation of the skull shining. Right? At the first, you just need to learn how to purify the body. Once you learn the purification and you're able to go fast, that's when you start feeling that upliftingness, that sense of being high and relaxed and happy. Okay? First, slow, 1 breath out per second. As your comfort level increases through persistent practice, then start building up your speed, maybe intermediate speed. Then you can go fast. Then you can ride your wave as if you were a surfer. You can go fast, you can slow down, you can speed up, and you can ride your emotions, you can ride your thoughts. If you feel yourself becoming anxious or frustrated or tight, slow down. Then as you feel more powered and relaxed, speed up and ride and coast. Okay? But at first, go slow. With any practice, we either have timers or we want a measured approach. We want to get better and more proficient at something. You need to grade yourself. You need to measure yourself, measure your progress. In Kapalabhati, we will do 100 exhalations. The first cycle will be 50 exhalations. The second cycle will be 100. Third cycle 100. And fourth and final cycle will also be 100 exhalations. So the first is maybe like a trial run of 50 exhales. Count for yourself as you're breathing out. One exhalation. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep counting and see how far you get along your progress. Maybe today you only do 20 exhalations. And as you become more proficient, you can reach 50. The goal is to get to 100 and hit that mark every single time. Exhale, 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 exhale. Keep counting on your way to your goal. Right? You want to have measured goals. You want to be able to rise in life and up your level of proficiency. Let's start with 50 exhalations first. Close your eyes, sit up tall, inhale, and begin. Good. Hopefully by now you've gotten to 50 or close to 50. Wherever you're at, take a deep, 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 deep breath in and hold it in as long as you can. Hold the breath in, floating the ribs and the skull above your shoulders. Stay quiet, stay calm. When it's no longer comfortable, exhale and relax. With your eyes closed, watch the after effects of Kapalabhati breath. Now at home, if the speed was too fast and you can get to 50, remember, you can always pause the DVD and you can try on your own, get to 50, and then rejoin the class. Press play. So it's not always important to follow the guides. You can listen to the instruction and then you can follow it along at your own pace. This is simply a demonstration. Let's move on to our second cycle of Kapalabhati. Try to reach 100 exhalations. Take a deep breath in and let's see if we can get to that skull shining feeling. Exhale, 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 exhale. Develop a rhythm. Ride that rhythm. What kind of tempo works for you today? Remember, you don't have to follow us. You can pause the DVD and focus on measured count. How many exhalations can you achieve today on your way to achieving your goal of 100 exhalations? Ride your breath. And if you need breaks, take breaks. Use common sense. Exhale, then deep, 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 deep inhale. Hold your breath in. Maybe take in 3 more breaths to increase the volume of in your lungs. Keep your mind steady. One-pointed concentration like a bullet piercing a target. Magnetize towards the breath. Holding it in as long as you can. Play a game. How long can I hold my breath in comfortably? And exhale, release. We want to learn how to expand the volume in our lungs. We want to be able to stretch the tissue of the lungs. Treat your lungs as if they were organ. That's what we're doing now. We're working it out. We're treating it like a muscle. So the more you work out the tissues of your lungs, the more the lungs are able to expand. The more your rib cage expands, you can take in more air, more oxygen is absorbed into your blood supply, and therefore you have more energy, more nourishment for the body. It is very simple. If you want more energy, work on pranayama, breath control. I can't stress that enough, and I practice pranayama every single day, and so does Karina. Let's go for our next cycle, 100 exhalations. Let's begin. If by now you have had enough, go back to Ujjayi breathing or simply mindfulness breath, mindfulness meditation. Be smart. As a beginner, you want to slowly integrate this practice into your lifestyle. If you start out too fast, you will overtax your lungs, you will overtax your rib cage, you will feel pain, you will feel suffering. And that's not any way to start a new beginning, a new lifestyle. So therefore, pace yourself. Do the best that you can, but then let it go. Be forgiving. Be non-judgmental. Practice mindfulness truly. Right? Practice as if your life depended on it, but at the same time, know what is right. Intelligent action. You feel constricted, you feel anxious, let go and relax. Otherwise, keep going. Good, wherever you're at, deep, 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 deep breath in. See if you can take 3 more tiny little breaths. Exhale and release. With your eyes closed, watch for the after effects. Perhaps you've reached that feeling of your forehead either shining or feeling lightheaded in a good way, in a positive way, in an upbeat sort of way. Maybe you're vibrating, right? Notice what kind of effect This form of breathing, rapid breathing, hat on you. In this class, we're performing 4 cycles of Kapalabhati breath. At home, try for 5 cycles. If 5 cycles is too much, maybe try to perform, whenever you're practicing pranayama, 2 to 3 cycles. Always experiment, because everyone is different. Therefore, you should try to tailor and customize these breathing practices to yourself. If Kapalabhati doesn't work, maybe Bhastrika will. If Bhastrika is too advanced and uncomfortable, Ujjayi breath will work for you. So be mindful. Pay attention to your body and work within your limitations and work outwards by challenging yourself intelligently. Let's start our last cycle of Kapalabhati breath, 100 rounds. If you go fast and you finish quickly, well then you're done quicker, right? That's also another incentive to learn this breath, to go quickly. If you're going slow, it's just going to take you that much longer and that much more time. Yeah? So see if you can go fast on this last cycle and see where you get. If you get hung up, you know what to do. Deep breath in, and let's begin. When you get to your goal, deep breath in, maybe 3 more breaths. Breath retention, kumbhaka. How long can you retain the breath, expanding the tissues of your lungs from within, being an airtight container? Always treat this exercise as if there was a game. How long? Can I go longer this time? Sometimes I take out my timer, and after many cycles of Kapalabhati breath, after much oxygenation goes on my body, I have so much fresh blood, fresh oxygen in my system. I try to test myself. I set a timer on my cell phone and see how many minutes I can hold my breath. Right now, I'm at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And I'm hoping to expand my breath to maybe 4 minutes without breathing out. Like as if I was practicing for the art of free diving. Free divers take in one single breath and they dive down into the depth of the ocean on one breath. They need to have enough energy and poise and concentration to go down that line to whichever depth they feel they can get. And they always strive and compete to go deeper, longer. And then they need to have enough common sense, that intelligence, that life depends on it, to have enough breath in their lungs to slowly come back up and then exhale as they reach the surface. So when practicing Kapalabhati breath, be like the freediver. Work on your breath, work on your depth. That was the presentation of Kapalabhati breath. The last breathing technique I'd like you to learn is completely the opposite of breath uplifting. It is about equalization. Equalization of your brain hemispheres in order for you to feel balanced and relaxed. It's called Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breathing. So to feel equalized, balanced, you're to perform alternate nostril breath. You can use this breath in the morning, during the day, whenever you feel stressed out, or before going to bed. Not only is it a form of concentration, meditation if you will, but also it's a form of cleansing your nostrils, clearing the cobwebs of your mind, becoming clear, focused, and relaxed. Bring your index finger and middle finger to your forehead, the third eye. Close your right nostril with your right thumb. Exhale through the left nostril completely. Take in a deep, smooth, and slow breath through your left nostril. Close the left nostril with your ring finger and pinky finger. Open the right and exhale. Nice and smooth. When you are completely empty, inhale through the right nostril and fill up your lungs. And when your lungs are full, close the right nostril, open the left nostrils, and exhale. This form of breathing is called alternate nostril breath. Same left nostril, inhale. Close left nostril, open the right, and smoothly and slowly let it go. Inhale. Switch and exhale. Karina is going to continue with the breath. At home, continue with the breath. When you're performing alternate nostril breath, know this. The inhale is empowering. It brings in the vital force, the prana, the energy, the oxygen. So it is empowering. It is uplifting. The exhale is releasing, gets rid of the toxins, get rid of the carbon dioxide, gets rid of the tensions and restlessness and frustrations. So the inhale empowers, the exhale releases and relaxes and lets go. Once you learn to balance out these energies, the inhale uplift and the exhale reduce, relax, you come into a state of equilibrium and balance. How can you then manipulate your breath to learn to either uplift yourself or to relax yourself? Make the inhale longer in length if you want to feel more uplifted. If you want to be more relaxed, make the exhale longer in duration and length. Try it. Let us try for relaxing breath. So let us stop for a second. Let's take a break. Let's go over this. The inhale is uplifting. The exhale is reducing, relaxing. Let us try, for example, to relax our energies, because most people want to reduce their stress, and that's why they're doing these mind-body yogic practices. So, make the inhale a count of 4 seconds. Make the exhale a count of 6 seconds. This way your exhale is longer in duration and gives you more of that relaxing feeling. So instead of uplifting or balance, we're going for stress reduction, making the exhale longer in length. Inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 6. Close your right nostril. Inhale for 4 through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left nostril, open the right nostril, and slowly exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are now empty. Inhale, same nostril, right side for 4, 2, 3, 4. Close the right nostril, open the left, exhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same nostril, inhale 4. Close the left nostril, open the right nostril, exhale 6. Inhale 4. Exhale, 6. Continue. And notice the sirens in our studio. We're a ground floor studio, so therefore there's distractions, there's fire trucks, ambulance, people walking by. Our job as yogis is to learn right discrimination. This way you are focused, this way you can bring that focus in, and then you can develop the inner energies of being focused and undivided. Being undivided, you're scattered. You're kind of like wild horses that are running all over in your mind. And you have all these thoughts like horses going all around. Your job is to learn how to put reins on those horses and reel them in. Reel in your thoughts. So that way you become divided and whole. You become the master, right, of your thought, of your concentration. Because there's always going to be distractions around you. But if you can turn that attention inwards and learn to focus and concentrate, you are then whole, you feel complete, contented, and relaxed. Good. So this has been alternate nostril breathing. I should mention to you that if your right arm gets tired, if your shoulder, keep your shoulder soft as you're performing this breath, so your trapezius is not tight. And if your right arm gets tired, you may switch to your left. Inhaling, exhale. Inhaling, exhale. You can either focus on just doing regular alternate nostril breathing without the count if you want to do the breath for a specific effect, either to uplift your energy, to equalize your energy, or to reduce your stress. You can then either increase the count or decrease the count depending on what effect you want. So guys, thank you for joining us, for learning Pranayama, the Namaste Warrior Yoga way. I'm Alex, this is Karina. Thank you for joining us. Peace to you and Namaste.
Namaste.